Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming back, or thank you for coming. So today we will be doing a release reading, but before we do that, I wanted to say some affirmations and I want you to repeat them. I want to say them before the reading so that way we can set up ourselves with the realization and readiness to receive, but also acknowledgement of being present in here. And when we do these, we're going to put our right hand over our heart, because our right hand is about giving. So we want to make sure that this is what we are omitting and that we are ready to have an open heart, which allows us grace, patience, understanding, and a different vibration, okay? Then we're going to take our left hand and we're going to either put that on our stomach, which is our first brain, our first thought center, and our intuition as well, like our gut feeling, or you can put it on your forehead, which is also your third eye, which is about awakening, opening, and receiving as well for your intuition. And your left hand is about taking things. This is what is coming to you, and this is what you are putting out. So you want to put out through your heart so that it is done with love and grace and patience, and we want to be able to receive so that way it's rooted within our intuition, which is our inner self, which is our inner guidance, okay? Before I get started, I'm just going to take a little sip of water. That's good water with a little bit of alfalfa in it. My lips are a little chapped, so I'm just going to add some lip gloss really quick so that I help them be moisturized. Okay. Smells like gingerbread. Okay, let's go ahead and get started, okay? So I'm going to say it at least 3 times, again, so that way you can hear it and repeat it with me, or you want to write it down and read it later. And also just 3 times allows it to be a center of the mind, body, and soul, as well as the spirit and connection, okay? Deep breath in. Let's get started. I am ready to be the key in my life. I am ready. I am ready to be the key in my life. I am ready. I am ready to be the key in my life. I am ready. I release fear and believe in my highest self. I release fear and believe in my highest self. I release fear and believe in my highest self. I attract good fortune like bees to honey. I am grateful for my blessings. I attract good fortune like bees to honey. I am grateful for my blessings. I said it 3 times. Anyway, I attract good fortune like bees to honey. I am grateful for my blessings. I am a conduit for prosperity. I receive inspiration from the smallest act. I am a conduit for prosperity. I receive information from the smallest act. I am a conduit of prosperity. I receive inspiration from the smallest act. I integrate and realize I am another manifestation of the energy of the universe. I integrate and realize I am another manifestation of the energy of the universe. I integrate and realize I am another manifestation of the energy of the universe. I will apply all lessons and work with the elements. I will and can listen to the guides. I will be whole and continue to be whole. I just added that part. I will apply all lessons and work with the elements. I will and can listen to my guides. I will be whole I will apply all lessons and work with all elements. I will and can listen to my guides. I will be whole. I integrate and accept change, and I align with the cycles of life. I integrate and accept change, and I align with the cycles of life. One final time. I integrate and accept change, and I align with the cycles of life. So again, I just wanted to read that before we got started. And again, I'm going to be reading some after, okay? And that is allowing us again to recognize that we are in a present moment. We are in a safe place, that we're ready to receive the message. We're ready to hear it, and that we're prepared in all aspects, okay? So understanding that information and taking it in is very valuable before we get a reading about what we need to release, okay? So first we're going to see what type of animal mindset we have that we need to release, that we need to let go of. What are we currently tapping into for our life? And as we know, we just did the weekly reading on Tuesday. Last Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday to Tuesday. So this one is, again, this is about what we need to release. So this can be seen at any time, okay? This can be seen at any time. So Spirit, I thank you to come today. Oh, it's popping right out. It's popping right out, huh? I love it. It's beautiful here. All right, Spirit. What animal spirit do we need to release? What is holding us back? What is holding us down? What type of mindset are we needing to get rid of? Thank you, Spirit. Speak now, please. I feel it in the middle. I'm gonna have to do witch's spread. It's definitely in the middle. Anything else, Spirit? Yeah. All right, so it looks like we have some fire. We have 3 fire, and we have 1 water. So it could be letting us know that right now we may be dealing with a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings at this moment, and it is causing us to be overworked, burnt out, not being able to think clearly, frustrated, a lot of these things. We're going to dive deeper into it. And first, I'm actually going to go ahead and read what it looks like when we're out of balance and why the card may be appearing to us, okay? Again, this is what we need to release, all right? So we're going to start with the dolphin. So I like to go in order. It just looks beautiful. It's amazing because it's in order. Okay, let's go ahead and pull that in there. There we go. So when we are out of balance with the dolphin energy, and I'll go ahead and show you the card. Look at how beautiful that is. And you can even see the sonic waves, right? It's emitting something. So we have to remember that even when we're feeling in a certain type of way, even when we are holding on to things that we need to release, it's still emitting some type of frequency, right? It's still emitting something out there, and it's being caught, and it's coming from within. So we have to realize if I'm emitting this and I'm getting it, it has to be coming from within. And we want to be happy. We want to be joyous. Look at that smile. We want to be ready for that. So let's go ahead and take a look, okay? When we are out of balance, we underestimate our own power. Beautiful. Like I said, we're still emitting something. We're still pulling something. So when there is doubt in what we are able to have, what we are able to cultivate, what we are able to create, that is doubting our own hands, that is doubting our own body, that is doubting our mind, right? When we underestimate our own power, it allows it to be manipulated, it allows it to be used. It allows our emotions to run rampant because we feel like I can feel my emotions, but I can't gather an understanding, or I can't control them, and not in a sense of dismissing them, but in a sense of diving in and allowing that emotion to either set up boundaries, to do some healing, things of that sort. So we don't want to underestimate our own power. Okay, we want to be able to release that. We want to be able to understand our power and cultivate it and use it in itself. I'm just going to pop over here really quick because I seen something today and it spoke to me in my Affirmations book. And I wanted to read it. Let's take a look. If you're lying to me, it stops now. I take all power back to me. My energy is mine. So like I said, when you underestimate your power, you don't even realize who you are. It reminds me of that stupid song by One Direction, but you don't know you're beautiful and you are gorgeous. You are ready to shine. You have this omitting power. You have this aura. You have this energy, and it's radiating, and it's out there. And like I always say, you are able to pull into that power as well, okay? So don't underestimate yourself. If you're doubting yourself, if you feel like you can't do something, write a grateful list. Write some affirmations down. Just scream out loud, shut up. Do what you need to do, because don't underestimate yourself. Under means you're putting yourself under what your expectation is. And sometimes it's usually an outside force or outside thinking or society or things of that sort. And you're trying to match up your power to something else versus matching your power with where you are presently and who you are wholly. Okay, which is, I'm so glad we read that as well, because I will be coming whole. Okay. So it says, let's take a look. This card can also indicate a profound blessing is on the way. Okay, and we want to take a look into that. Okay, this is important in the wheel of karma that is coming in contact with a dolphin. Okay, it can change the entire course of your day and thus your life. So again, if we don't recognize our power, we can be missing our blessings. We can be doubting what is for us. We can have imposter syndrome. All of these things because we feel like who we are and what we do and how it is and what we cultivate, we're not worthy of, right? Or in some instances, we're not appreciative of. I was thinking when I sat out today out in front of a tree, I was thinking I have to be grateful for what I have now. So that way I'm not always looking for what to be grateful for, right? I have to be grateful for where I am currently in my mindset. So that way when it does expand and grow, I can be grateful for that as well, okay? When we are in balance, we're an active healer, right? We are strong. We have a strong spiritual practice. Again, we are rooted within. We are always omitting a frequency. So we want to make sure that we are doing that properly, okay? To bring back into balance, be with like-minded spirits. Dolphins are typically always in at least a group of 3 or 4. And dolphins are crazy, but they're typically in a group of 3 or 4, right? And they're usually around like-minded people. But if not, they can send out an echo frequency. What is it called? I just seen the Dory movie. Don't judge me. But sonar frequency, or I forgot what it's called, but it has this power. And dolphins know that, even to the point where humans were like, we see your power. We're trying to be able to communicate with you, and they were feeding them THC, but that's a different story. But again, don't underestimate your own power, because people always see it within you. It's always radiating. It's like an aura. It's glowing. It's emitting from you. Okay, so make sure what you're emitting and putting out, it's coming from you. That's why I put your hand over your heart and over your stomach or your mind, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and get into that fire and see what we need to release. I think tarantula is first. I'm so glad I'm slowly getting over my fear of spiders. A big one, probably not, but I'm still getting there. Like I seen one that was about this big and I didn't flick out, and I usually would. And I feel like it's crawling all over me, but I'm getting better. Even pictures I wouldn't be able to look at. But we got tarantula, okay? And this tarantula, they have 8 legs and I think 6 eyes. So this is, again, letting us know that we have different perspectives, different views. We can go in different directions as well in itself, okay? But innately, they're able to use their skin to sense what's going on, right? Like a daddy long leg, they go off the vibrations of the earth. Should I go here? Should I go here? They listen to themselves intuitively, and they go in and they say, okay, This is what I want. And even if you look closely, you can see that the orange is under him and the red is around him, or her, or they. You never know. And it's a sense of them still emitting this power, still emitting this energy, and it's this light shining up out of them, and they're using that, okay? But let's take a look and see what we need to release. When we're out of balance with the tarantula, we hesitate and we over-intellectualize. And what that means is we doubt ourselves. Like I said, we underestimate our own power. Should I do this? Can I do this? Will I be able to continue this? Will I be successful? Will I understand what's going on? You doubt, you underestimate yourself, you doubt yourself, and it causes hesitation. The last thing I did, I felt like there was this back and forth, this pull of maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. And it was this realization of we don't want to hesitate. We want to stand still, kind of like the spider. Feel the vibrations. Are people walking? Is that a bug I sense? What is happening? What's going on? But they're taking it in, not nervous, not out of fear, but out of caution. So that way they can move forward. And when we over-intellectualize, that means we're trying to over-talk, maybe. You know, we're like, maybe this, but also this. And what I mean by this is, but I didn't mean that, but what I mean is it's like you're trying to over-explain yourself. You're trying to overthink. Like I said, with a lot of this fire, we could be experiencing burnout. We could be experiencing anger and all of these things, right? Because of that and because of that feeling. Oh, I'm fascinated, and I just thought of a chin chakra. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? Anyways, moving back and forward, moving on. So allow that. Do not hesitate with your power, right? Have we ever seen like a surge where it's like, and it like stops because it was a hesitation? We don't want to do that. We don't want to overthink things. We don't want to over-intellectualize it, because then we start adding on shit that didn't need to be added. Okay? So, it says, the tarantula hovers patient and calm like an old friend that knows your inner soul. It already knows you'll choose wisely. Like I said, they have like the hairs and things on that, and daddy long legs and all that stuff. But for the tarantula, their skin is furry, I guess, in a sense. And so it allows them to even sense it a little bit better, feeling and everything, okay? So allow that into that interconnection, that intuition for you. When it says when we are in balance, we follow our intuition. That's it. They know where they want to go. They know where they want to build their web. They know what they can and can't do. And not in a way of limiting, but just in a way of realizing what I can manifest, right? They know that they cannot eat a snake whole, but they may be able to get a group of people like the dolphin and take down a fucking snake. I don't even know if they eat snakes, but we get in the analogy. So to bring to the balance, daily journaling, like I said, write down a grateful journal. You know, just start writing down what you're grateful for, what you're happy about, or writing down some affirmations, or just writing about your day and just allowing that to allow you to be more centered and present within self. Our intuition is about what am I feeling now? What am I doing now? And we think about the present, and then the afterthought is the future, right? Because we can't see the future. Manifestation is you're putting yourself in what you desire and what you need and what you're passionate about, but you're feeling it in your body now. You're feeling it presently in focus, right? So there is no future. Once we're in tomorrow, that's technically today, okay? So that is a tarantula. I forgot to read the big parts, so my apologies. So I'm just going to go back and read that really quickly. So for the dolphin, we have innately intelligent, healer, light, and blessings. And we have the tarantula at a crossroad and claiming life's purpose. So again, you're about to be blessed. There's something that we need to release. We need to release underestimating ourselves, and that causing hesitation, and then causing us to over-intellectualize and overthink, and then causing burnout, okay? Let's move on to the next one, which is the cobra. Okay, look at that. And they're standing there, and their tongue isn't out. They're not aggressive. They're not on guard. They're not any of that. They're just sitting there. I said frogs. Can cobras sit? Can snakes sit? Anyways, I'm going to read the first part. So we have pausing, waiting, in the inner teacher. So with the snake, they are able to even climb trees. They're able to leap into the air. They understand what they are capable of doing, but also they are very quiet and patient. And when they stalk, they slither. And that's what I was like, snakes in the grass. But we want snakes in our life. We want to be able to shed our own skin. We want to be able to softly and gracefully come up on those manifestations. We want to softly and gracefully weed through the grass, so that way we're being mindful because we're feeling everything in our body. So that we're being cautious of how we're taking care of ourselves and what we're doing, right? So it says, when we're out of balance, we know it all, and we're egocentric, which also leads to the over-intellectualizing, which leads to the hesitation. Because if we feel like we know it all, right, we feel like we have all the answers, we underestimate our power and our potential for it to grow. So you want to release from like we have it all together, from like we have all the answers. That is okay that we don't. Because then we can become, we're still always a student of life. Versus always feeling like we have to be a teacher, which also leads to burnout and draining and feeling like, oh, this is where the end is. And that also leads to underestimating your power. That leads to hesitation to feel like you can do something new, do something different, shed your skin. And then when you are egocentric, that leads to, again, that over-intellectualization of feeling like you have all the answers and you're just out here and everything's good. You're leading ass first. Instead of head first, okay? It says, the essence of the cobra is found deep within us in the form of the inner teacher and manifests externally in those special guides who's led us along our path, which is also why I read those affirmations, right? That I can and will listen to my guides because they also are here to help me. They also have information that I may not know. I'm also being more in tune with the animals and the nature and things of that sort, okay? Some questions I want you to write down for this before I read on the imbalance and bring it into balance. Excuse me. Questions I want you to write down is, what would it feel like to be a student again? What would it feel like to be a student again? Okay, and asking that question is a realization of, am I going to think in the mindset of when I actually was in school? Am I going to think of it in the mindset of how I want to be taught, how I want to learn, what's going to work for me, right? Because when we're taught in school, we're all taught the same way. When we're at a job, we're all typically taught the same way. But what would it look like for you to be a student again? Right? For you to gather more knowledge in your craft and that understanding and taking all of that in. So what is that going to look like for you to become a student again? And you want to write that down, which also comes back to the daily journaling, right? Jeez Louise, pumpkin and cheese. Which comes back to the daily journaling. And it also comes back with being with like-minded people. Because if you're surrounded by that as well, they're able to give you more information and insight. And that's just you being in the company of people that you enjoy. So write that down. The next question is, what are you ready to learn? Right? So me, I want to get a little bit more information on vegan cooking. So I've been putting that out there, like I'm ready to learn that. And I'm always finding new people to find and ask for. I'm just like, oh, I cannot wait to cook that because I love to cook. But also with readings and how to do it, what these things mean, wands or yes, swords or no, things of that sort. So gathering in even more information from that. What do you want to truly learn, right? What do you want to get a deeper understanding of? What do you feel like you have all the answers for? What are you ready to learn? What are you ready to learn? That's the key word, ready. Okay? Those are the two questions. But it also says, remember the old statement, when a student is ready, the teacher appears. Like I said, I've been writing like cooking, and I've just been finding so many videos and people and creators, and some of them are even here, right? And I've seen vegan cooking classes all across the world and country and stuff, and I'm just like, oh, that's great. That's so phenomenal. I'm going to take those, right? So certain things are realizing, are you truly ready, or are you an egocentric person? Do you feel like you know it all? Are you over intellectualizing for what you don't actually understand, right? So take that into account. Take that into realization. And then with all that, you high-key lose out on the potential of that growth and underestimate your own power, okay? So to bring into balance, we would want to, when we are in balance, we are a student of life. If you can be a student, you can be a teacher. If you can be a teacher, you can be a student. There's a whole entire encapsulating world out there. And if we think about it, there's so many things that we don't know, which is why we come up with the theory, the Big Bang Theory, you know, how the dinosaurs got killed theory, you know, the airplanes in the clouds, I forgot what they're called, chemtrails theory. You know, theories are things that we add up this information and calculation, and this is kind of how we're theorizing it. It's not set in stone, but there's so many things that we don't know, and we're trying to find it, right? So allow yourself to always be a student of life. You are humble. Like I said, you're not egocentric. And humble doesn't mean you downplay yourself. It doesn't mean you underestimate your power. It means that you are okay with listening just as much as you are okay with speaking, okay? That is what humble is to me. We ain't gonna look at this is what it is. Pay attention. You are humble, right? It's okay to listen. Even if you don't agree, allowing a different perspective allows you to see, oh, that's why that works for people when they do that. And that's why it doesn't work for me. So gather that information, and you are wise. Wise is taking the intellect, taking the information, which is also why we got that reading today with the affirmations, taking those lessons, taking all the elements and using it. Wisdom is using your experiences and life lessons in your life. Okay? To bring it to balance, taking a class. Okay, so that way, again, you understand what would it feel like to be a student again, because you're going to be taking a class, but then also you'll know exactly what you're ready for. And studying. Me, sometimes when I'm not able to get in contact with other people that are also in tarot, I do reflections, which is also where I got our affirmations for today, is from my past reflections, right? I was reading old stories, things of that sort, and I'm able to kind of pull, and I'm able to get different informations and perspectives for that as well, right? But also, I watch other tarot readers and their channel and how they do things. I do readings on it. So it's just a way of understanding that that is also studying. Studying to me is doing your craft, but are you also able to do your craft alone and expand on it as well while still learning, okay? The final one that we have is zebra. Look at that, right over the third eye. And it's a triangle, which we all know is the portal. It's the dimension of what we want to open up, right? Of what we are able to see. And it's a solid foundation. I think my friend, Tiara told me, they were like, the triangle, it can stand. It's very solid. Like, it's sturdy. You know, it's like a tricycle. Those three wheels, the mind, body, and soul, you know, all connecting. And it's in that sense. But it's raising, look at where it's pointed. It's pointed up to our highest self. But our highest self is who we are presently. That's why it's implanted in our mind, right? And all the colors are so vibrant and so beautiful, okay? It says eccentric, creative, and a visionary, right? When we are out of balance, we are jaded, which is another word for being biased in a sense, right? Which again comes from like we know everything. So we're biased to our own situations, we're biased to other people, we're biased to a lot of things, okay? We are pouty. Last I said, it feels like there's some burnout, there's some irritation, there's some frustration, there's, you know, I feel like we don't have graces, that underestimation, we're just, So we don't want, because then that puts out the energy like the dolphin. It's omitting it still. It's still omitting it. It's still pouring it out. It's still putting it out there. You're still sending out those, I with sonar sounds, right? You're still sending that out that you're pouty, that you're upset. But let's see what we can do about that, right? The last one, when we are out of balance, is vain. Again, it's giving me, but not an actual reflection of me, not the actual awareness of me, not me understanding that it's not just me in this world. We get so caught up in feeling like main character syndrome, right? And we feel like everybody else is a side character, but we have to realize that they can affect your life just as much as you can affect theirs. So how are we not each other's main character in that sense? And I get what they mean, but stay with me here when I'm saying what I'm meaning. We do not want to be so vain that we are looking at ourselves like narcissists and we get lost in it to the point where we die by just staring at it. About staring at what could have been, what should have been, we're biased, this is it, I got the information. We don't want to do that because then we become politicians and government officials. Okay, and we don't want to be that, do we? No, okay. Okay. It says, being in the company of the zebra personality is not only a delight, but also opens our minds. Again, when we only think about our bias and things of that sort, we become narrow-minded because we're only in here. Versus we can be out here. Okay? Zebras are also like to contribute to global health through environmental or volunteer work. Right? So it's in that sense of, like I said, the dolphin, the first card was getting a sense of like-minded people. Right? And then journaling so that way we can pull out of ourselves and allowing that. And then the cobra is allowing us to realize that we can be patient, but we also want to be able to be a teacher and a student as well. And so this is saying, this is how we can do all of those things and then some. It also says that this card may be a hint to pack your bags. So traveling, exploring the world. Maybe what you have right here, you feel like it's stunting your growth, or it's putting a cap on your potential, right? And you want to just pack it. Pack your bags. Part of me, I think after this, I'm just going to pack a suitcase just to pack a suitcase and see what happens. Because why not, you know? But when we are in balance, we are worldly, which means we understand what's happening in the world, which is also why I said we like to contribute to the global health through environmental or volunteer work. So we are worldly enough to understand what is happening in the world without being so much in our head, right? Without being down bad about it. We realize that we can make a change. We can do something. We understand what is happening around us, okay? We are enthusiastic. Again, we are admitting something. We are ready. We are prepared. We are happy. Like I literally said, it is a delight to be around, right? And that also means for you, so that way when you're alone, you feel enthusiastic in your own presence, okay? So we want to release the biases on ourselves. We want to release feeling like we know it all, like we got all the answers, because again, that leads to burnout, that leads to depression, that leads to anxiety, that leads to control, and that leads to all of these things. Right? We want to release feeling like we got all the information and now we're over intellectualizing because somebody else brings up a different point and we aren't listening, we're just speaking. So we're just like, but this, but actually this, and just like, baby, take a moment, take a breath. Right? So what we need to release is our control. I'm feeling like we have everything, like we know everything. We need to release not recognizing our power and or not even using our power. We need to release realizing, excuse me, yeah, there was a lot of just know-it-alls. We need to release our hesitation. I forgot one of them. Our hesitation, our doubts within ourselves, which is letting us know that there's a confliction in the body. Because how can you doubt yourself and your power but feel like you know everything and you got everything? That doesn't make sense at all. So when you doubt yourself and you don't understand what is happening, we have to realize in this understanding, like, hey, I'm doubting myself, but I also feel like I got all the answers and the control in my life. I'm hesitant on what my power is and what it can be and what's going on. but I'm not actually utilizing it. I'm not actually growing on it. I'm not expanding it like a student should. So we have to take in that realization of that as well, okay? The last one is fashion forward. And that just means being confident in who you are, what you wear, and in your skin. So taking in that recognition of, damn, I look good. I feel good. I'm about to be good. I'm about to do some good things in my life. And that also comes with journaling daily. That also comes with like-minded spirits. That also comes with recognizing how you want to be taught and what you want to be taught in. Okay? So to bring it to balance, we have an epic adventure and art. So again, pack those bags. Be ready to go somewhere. Recently, I had an adventure where my cat got lost. And I was like, holy shit. What the fuck? And I had to go through the woods, I had to trek, and I had to do all of these things. And high-key, that was a mini adventure. But then I realized, I'm like, this is preparing me. Like, am I really ready to go out and explore the world in different countries? Because that's what I want to do. And I'm putting out there, that's what I'm going to do, should I say. I don't want to say I want, because I don't want to admit just want. But that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be moving. I'm going to be experiencing different life. But if I can't even go out into the woods in my own backyard, make it make sense, right? But just a realization, okay? Let's see if we can get some final words of just encouragement before we close out with those affirmations, okay? Because again, it can be a lot to realize that it's a confliction of your mind, your body, and your spirit right now, which your spirit is telling me what is happening. We need to release this confliction, this confusion. We're underestimating our power, which is putting a limit on our power and a limit on our access and a limit on our information, to the point where with this limit of underestimation, we feel like that's the end of it, which leads us to feel like we know everything, like we got everything, we know. Just take a moment, okay? So let's see if we can get that. Spirit, any words of encouragement, advice, things of that sort, Spirit, go ahead and speak. Oh, ashe, 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 ashe. I love it, 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 I love it. Speak now, please. I love it, 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 I love it. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Give me any more? Any more? Or is that all you're giving me today? Is that all you giving me today, Spirit? You ain't got nothing else to say? Oh, okay. You ain't got nothing else to say? You ain't got nothing else to say? Sometimes you just got... I like to talk to my cards the way I talk to my cards. That's the relationship that me and my cards have. Don't judge me, you'll judge your mama. Okay. Let's go ahead and break into these cards. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with, because like I said, I like to start with the bad news. It's not really bad news, but news that, you know, anything, you know. We have, you already know the answer. Stop asking. So again, that's why we need to recognize our power. Be grateful for our blessings. Be present in this moment and now, so that way we can be cautiously aware, like the snake, where they're able to feel with their skin. Like the dolphin, where they're able to send out sonar signals from inside. Like the tarantula, where they're able to crawl, they're able to plan, they're able to think of, where do I want to set up shop? Do tarantulas build webs? I'm not thinking of spiders. Anyway. And then like the zebra, where we're able to be boldly expressive in everything. Okay? You already know the answer. Stop asking. So whatever question you had when you came to this release reading, like, oh, what do I need to release? And it was in the back of your mind. Sorry, it was in the front of your mind and you pushed it to the back. You already know the answer. Don't play with yourself. And don't play with them. Okay? Which is why we did those affirmations beforehand, to put ourselves up in a position to receive it. Okay? And we have this too. They don't care. Move on, and you're the problem. Okay, so again, that question that you were thinking about, the situation that you were thinking about, recognize that they don't care. It's time to move on, which is also probably why we're feeling that confliction, that what's going on. I feel like I get everything. I feel like I know everything, but also I don't recognize or understand my power, or I'm pushing it down. They don't care. Move on. Stop dimming your light for other people. Stop dimming who you are. I've been singing it for today and yesterday. I sing it all the time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bigger light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This growing light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Right? That's my version of it. Now I got a little light, then now I got a bigger light, and now I got a growing light, right? Just recognize that it's ever evolving, you're ever changing, right? You're ever transforming. So take on that realization and take on that understanding, okay? And recognize that sometimes we can be standing in our own way, which Spirit is telling we are. We are too in our head. We feel like we got all the information. We feel like we can teach. We feel like we got it. No, time to step outside of your comfort zone. Time to expand on your power and recognize your power. Time to realize that you don't know everything and expand your perspectives and your mindset. It's time to be more centered in yourself with journaling, with creating art, and all of these things, okay? And taking that realization, taking that understanding. Oh, Jesus, we smoking cheese. Okay? So they do not care. And the last one that we have for that is settling for mediocrity. I have to say, yesterday I was singing a song and I was like, I'm no longer accepting what is just giving to me. I have a choice, which also comes from the tarantula as well. I have different options that I can always choose. But it's going to be harder for me to choose when I feel like I know everything. When I feel like I got all the answers. When I'm vain. When I'm over-intellectualizing. When I don't even recognize my power that I can choose different ways and various situations where I can do it. Right? So taking that realization, taking the understanding that you don't need to settle for anything. I use this example a lot, but when you cook greens and then the day after it has that film on top, that's settling. That's everything coming up. That's everything coming up to the surface, right? And we don't want to just settle because we don't eat that. We reheat it, we mix it up, we cook it off, depending on how you work, take it off, or you mix it up, but we're not settling for the mediocrity, the bare minimum, the breadcrumbs of love, the begging, the none of that, okay? They don't care. Move on. I'm also the problem, so I'm settling myself for where I am right now and not being able to expand on it. So recognize you already know the answer to what you need to do. Stop asking. Because when you actually continue to put out the emitting energy that you're always going to be asking, you're always going to be begging, you're always going to be praying. I always hated the word praying, which I love the word manifestation, because praying feels like you're praying on something. You have to chase it, you have to watch, you have to do all this. I'm not here to chase, baby. I'm here to live. I'm manifesting, and I want to start living my life as that way, right? This card got me hyped when it came out, baby. Buck the system. Right? Buck the system. Bucket. Bucket. And that's why I was so happy, because I was like, how do you want to learn? What does it look like you to be a student? I love being hands-on. I love going out there, which is why I'm saying I'm going to be going to different places and different countries and different things, because that's how I learn. And that's how I expand, and that's how I grow, and that's how I allow that to happen for me. But we also need to buck the system of feeling like that. I was talking with my friend today, Tiara, and I was like, we were taught in school, which I also did on my podcast, that what we're doing when it was out of line, we can't do in the real world. And it was because they were creating this false creation of what the world is, right? School emulates work. Work emulates school and or the prison system, right? It's things where it's like, if you do not keep yourself structured in here, in this system that we have created, that is the real world, even though it doesn't work for you. People are homeless. People are sick. There's tragedies everywhere. There's no actual sense of control or comfort or things that we can do with our life. But this is a system that's the real world. and we don't know anything about taxes. We don't have healthcare, but that's the real world. So buck the fucking system. Buck what we were taught that is not necessary or needed for us for where we're going, because we can't learn that way. Which is also where we're feeling this push and pull of, oh, hesitation, of, oh, actually, I know what I'm doing because I'm in it. No, it's time for an adventure. It's time for something new, and it's time for that expansion, which bless me to the new direction needed. With that zebra card, there's an adventure coming. Pack your bags. Like, I'm serious. Thank you, Spirit. I'm literally going to pack my suitcase after this and like sprinkle some of my spell work on there and just close it up and sit it by my door so that I can be ready to go. And it's just a matter of new direction needed. And new direction can sometimes be a new perspective. It can be new mindsets. It can be new habits. It can be new friend groups. It can be new relationships. It can be a new job. It can be a different career. Spirit has been... I wrote this to get a little titty bit. I said I only like cooking for people that I love, and that is the truth. But Spirit is in me like, this is also how you're going to be able to connect with the people. And I'm just like, ugh. So new direction is needed, but we have to be willing to accept that new direction as well and take that in. Are you actually ready to receive it with your right hand, with an open heart? Okay? Which leads us to pregnancy. There is something coming. You're pregnant with ideas. You're pregnant with new goals. You're pregnant with a new system. You're pregnant with a baby. For real, for real. Okay? So it's time to start realizing that you have this new cultivation, which is leading us onward and upward. So we're going up. We're leveling. We're moving. We're continuously growing and being prosperous of that. We're onward and upward. As soon as we come to this realization that I don't want to limit myself, I don't want to limit my mind, and I don't want to feel like I have a sense of control, but I'm actually realizing that I am in control. It's a balance, okay? Because or not, we're going to be going in circles, and we don't want that. Okay? And you could be like, shouldn't I be over there? But we have to realize that going in circles sometimes makes us have to reflect on what are we doing consistently that is leading us here, right? And that's where the daily journaling comes in. That's where writing down those questions and answering them comes in. That's where taking a deeper understanding and realizing, what am I continuing in my life that I don't want to continue anymore, so that way I can have that new direction. What system do I need to buck so that way I'm not continuously going in circles? So this is about, again, that intuition, tapping into self and that recognition. So that way we can be wise, we can be humble, we can be eccentric, we can be students, we can be all those things, okay? Because we are stronger than we know. We have big, big energy. You're stronger than you know. You got big, big energy. And that's the truth. But it's time to stop downplaying your power. It's time to stop allowing other people to use your power. It's time to recognize whom you are. You're a magical ass being. Act accordingly. Okay? You have this big, big energy. People with big dicks don't need to go around saying they got it. People that are nice don't need to go around and say that they are nice. People that are, it speaks. Your actions speak for you. And that is, again, with the dolphin emitting, with the I said turtle, with the tarantula emitting that glow, right? Allow that to be seen. Your presence is going to walk into the room before you do. It makes sense if you think about it. We have to realize that it's happening quickly. We're in spring, baby. This is the day, thank you, Spirit. These are the days of what we planted, we're going to be seeing grow. What has been planted, what has been dropped is going to be growing. And guess what? There's still seeds that are coming around, because those little wish things still floating around. So again, that means that there's still pregnancy here. There's still new ways to go. There's still new directions and achievements to happen in our life. Okay? And the last one that we have, and I'm so glad, y'all look at these numbers. I cannot make this up. 3, 3, 3, 3. What did I say? I'm going to read these 3 times to get connected with the mind, body, spirit. The triangle, which is allowing ourselves into a different portal of life, which also replicates the womb, which is of creation, which also leads to pregnancy. So these are all connected. Realize that ancestral communication is coming. They are the third party person. And it could be somebody physically coming in and say, hey, I just need to say this. It could be affirmations. It could just be a compliment on your outfit, which also leads to the fashion forward. It can just be like, hey, I want to do this for you. Can I say, like, it's allowing that truth and that realization that, am I ready to receive it? Am I in balance and whole with myself? Or am I taking steps to become whole and in balance with self? So recognize that with ancestral communication, it means that they have been talking to you and they want to talk with you more and create even more of a stronger bond, but also that they're sending you signals, they're sending you signs, they're sending you confirmations to your affirmations and manifestations, or they're giving you warnings like, hey, not this, be cautious, you already know the answer, stop asking, stop coming to us, it's just time to start doing it. And it may just come also from a third party person, from a video that you watch, from a movie that you see, from a person on the street, from a friend, from a coworker. They're just like, hey, and you're like, what did you say? Did you just? So take that in and realize that, okay? We are stronger than we know. We have this big, big energy. We are powerful, okay? We're able to expand on that as a student. We are also able to grow and learn all those aspects, okay? Let's go ahead and close it out with some affirmations. Again, right hand on our heart, left hand on our head, third eye, and or on our stomach, okay? Ashe, ashe, ashe. I am ready to speak up and risk embarrassment. I will not be intimidated by my tongue or my actions. I won't lose hope. I am ready to speak up and risk embarrassment. I will not be intimidated by my tongue or my actions. I won't lose hope. I am ready to speak up and risk embarrassment. I will not be intimidated by my tongue or my actions. I won't lose hope. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except for the awakening of my own power. Ooh. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except for the awakening of my own power. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except for the awakening of my own power. Okay? I am the creator of prosperity through my life's work. I am the creator of prosperity through my life's work. My lava lamp just blooshed. I am the creator of prosperity through my life's work. I am ready and willing to be process-oriented. Time to weave some magic. I am ready and willing to be process-oriented. Time to weave some magic. I am ready and willing to be process-oriented. Time to weave some magic. The experience sometimes may be the best teacher on my journey of awakening. The experience sometimes may be the best teacher on my journey of awakening. The experience sometimes may be the best teacher on my journey of awakening. The opportunities for my growth are infinite in my career, life, business, and especially my wealth. The opportunities for my growth are infinite in career, life, business, and especially my wealth. The opportunities for my growth are infinite in my career, life, business, and especially my wealth. I accept Aiku and know I am fully free to release and step into the new light. I accept Aiku and know I am fully free to release and step into the new light. I accept Aiku and know I am fully free to release and step into the new light. Okay, so again, this is crazy. I just chose one page out of my affirmation books. It's the intuition. Thank you. So that has been the reading. Again, focus, answer those questions. Recognize what we need to release. We got to get out of our own head. Journal, do some art, take some classes, get around some other people in a sense of community, and recognize that, okay? It's time. Stop doubting yourself. You are strong. You are powerful. You are wonderful. You are magnificent. You are an illumination. You are an illumination of your inner self and your inner soul. So allow that to shine. It's time. It's time. Now go pack that bag. I'm serious. Go pack it, okay?